Another thing I'm going to do is to replace this mess. I want to put in a molded style wiring pigtail. This is actually too short for my truck, so it comes back here and goes into this little junction box. I've removed a screw from a clamp right here, and next thing I'll do is pull all the wires out and get rid of this mess, and then route the wiring up through the lid on this little junction box and clean up that mess as well. I finished up installing my new pigtail for the truck and rewired everything. I've used heat shrink crimp splices on all of the wires. Now I just need to tuck everything back in there and reattach the lid. I've also installed a new breakaway switch. I will put a link in the description below on where I got that. But these are really nice. They have a coiled cord with a big clip on the end. Your normal breakaway switch has this really long braided steel cable, which is generally about 2 feet longer than it needs to be, and you kind of have to wind everything up and keep it from dragging on the ground because they're always way too long. And here's my cord. This is going to be a lot longer than I need it to be. I could have cut some off, which, yeah, maybe I probably should have, but I'll just wrap up the extra around the tongue jack. Realistically, this is probably about at least a foot longer than it needs to be. I had to redo all of the connections under the battery there. Here's the old battery. The battery was actually dead. And as you can see, the positive terminal, the wire just completely corroded off. It wasn't even attached anymore, and that battery has probably been dead for many, many years. And the negative cable's pretty corroded too. The wire was still attached. I just cut the wire off there. So I've installed a new AGM battery under that cover. I've pulled the cover off the top of the battery. I'm going to install a pigtail for a battery tender, battery maintenance charger. This is really nice. It has a little silicone style boot to keep the weather and water out. I bought this at a motorcycle shop. And these two threaded rods are what hold the cover in place. And there's two little nuts. What I'll do is grab a zip tie and tie these wires together and just sort of tuck this fuse holder up inside if I can.